There's an opportunity with this sextile to Mercury on January 1st to really communicate. It's going to take a little bit of work, but communicating what your dreams are can really pay off. Okay, and we have a few echoes of that throughout the month. So Palo Santo, you up. And what are we listening to? Opening, Nada Sadhana, Brooklyn Sessions, Volume 1. How are you guys doing? Happy almost New Year, almost full moon. And that's what this video is going to be about. Let's talk about a full moon ritual that we can do. Full moon in Cancer, which is a water sign, and traditionally is representative of the home, the heart, like a very nurturing, mothering energy. So full moons are a fabulous time to release things that aren't serving us any longer so that we can make space for new things to come in. So if there's something that you want to bring in to your home or to your family or to the way that you are as a nurturer or a mothering figure of sorts, if there's something that you want to be calling in, look at maybe also what you want right now to release. If you're having problems just kind of off the top of your head figuring out what you need to let go of during this full moon. It will definitely also change depending on what's going on in your chart. So I'm gonna really quick open up my astrology app because we're gonna talk astrology. I might pull some cards. I do have my deck here, but let's see. Okay, so I use Time Passages. I've been using this app the entire time that I've been reading charts for people, which is, we're coming up on 10 years now. So I've been using this app for 8 or 9 years at least, if not 10. Crazy. And I really like it. So this is the current, what's happening. Oh, there's the window and beautiful trees, because I am in Washington right now, enjoying the wintry vibes. Anyway, okay, so what's going on for right now? I'm trying to get into current chart. Dunk. There. So that is what's happening right now. It's a lot. On December 29th. The sun is currently at 7 degrees Capricorn. So when the moon is at 7 degrees Cancer, which is tomorrow. Yeah, the full moon's tomorrow. Whoa, I'm gonna upload this tonight. Eee! Okay, so this is what I mean when I say that depending on what's going on in your chart and what your natal chart looks like, this full moon will have different themes to it depending on, you know, each individual person. So for me, or for any of you out there that are watching that also have a Scorpio rising, depending on where your rising is, Cancer would fall in your 8th to 9th house or a combo of the two. So for me, this full moon is going to be happening, let me just get my the horoscope open. There we go. Okay, yep, there's the moon. So for me, this full moon is happening in my 8th house, which the 8th house is Scorpio's house. It's all about transformation. So Cancer in the 8th house is, how can I transform from a very heart-centered place, helping to transform ancestral baggage, wounding, trauma, family transformation, shifts in the dynamics of the family setting, right? Because we have the themes of transformation, which is Scorpio, and we have the themes of home and family, which is Cancer. Now that's happening for me. Let's see here what this chart would look like, for example. So in another example of a chart that I'm looking at, this full moon will be falling right on this person's ascendant, which is pretty crazy that I flipped open to that, because that's a very, I'll show you guys, you won't see their name at all, but look at this chart and you can see over on the very, very, very right hand side that red circle with a red dot in it and with a 7 next to it. And then if you look further to the right above the Capricorn symbol, there's a 7 there. Okay, and then all the way to the very left above the Cancer symbol, there's a 7. And that's where the moon is going to land in this full moon. And so for this person, there is a huge opportunity for them to release their literally their like identity that was created from the family dynamic. It's a way to become independent from the family. I'm gonna have to tell this person that this is what's happening for them. You lovely, lovely little lucky, lovely lady that I clicked onto. Share this with you privately too, so that you specifically know that this is for you. Right, so that's just another example. Let's look at one other chart so I can give you guys another example of how this full moon, depending on what your chart is, like how it will affect you. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so for this person, for this example, the full moon is going to be happening in their 4th house, which is Cancer's natal house. So this person, I will also be sending to privately and letting them know either they're number 2, you're number 2 here that I'm talking about. For you, this full moon is landing in your 4th house. What does that mean? It means basically that there's a huge emphasis opportunity for you. I'm looking at what else is happening in your chart as well. Yeah, it's kind of like this is an opportunity for you to really cut cords from an old home dynamic. So if you're thinking of actually moving, then this full moon is a fabulous time to make those movements forward. We don't have any retrogrades happening right now except for the Uranus retrograde, which is coming to a standstill on January 1st, just in a few days, and Uranus will finally be going direct on the 14th of January, like moving forward again. And it will be the last planet of all of the planets, by the way, went retrograde in 2020, all of them. And that's very, very rare. And it was something that astrologers have been watching for a very long time. So what we just lived through, like, there's also suggestions in the stars that, you know, it's going to be a really challenging time. And we're not necessarily through it, but we can celebrate a little bit that in conjunction with this full moon that's happening and this releasing of some sort of family dynamic, because it's a Cancer full moon, guys, remember? So that's why I keep hinting on family or roots or the home in all of these different examples, because that's Cancer energy. But again, depending on where it falls in your chart, you're going to have a fully different flavor to that. So there's a lot of big energy happening right now, and this full moon is a great time, especially since a lot of us have been in our homes or in other people's homes for a lot of the year, quarantined or like stuck in this space. We've probably all noticed some things around the house that maybe need repairing or throwing out or just giving away. Maybe old childhood items that can be donated, regifted, repurposed. You know, you can get creative, but it definitely has a lot to do with letting go of things around the home and the family dynamic and anything that isn't serving you any longer. All right, what else can I talk about really quick? I'm gonna give you guys a fun little like horoscope update. Okay, so I did map out all of January. This is gonna look nuts. It's gonna look crazy. It's gonna look crazy. And I'm not gonna like focus in on it because it's really just a bunch of symbols. But I did go through to look and see what was going to be kind of happening in January 2021 according to the astrology. And just in case you're wondering what this music is in the background, if you can hear it, so I'm a little muted right now. It's a love song by Garth Stevenson, and this album, Garth Stevenson, Flying, very soothing. It's really beautiful. If you have a if you have Pisces in your chart, you probably really love it. Okay, so what's going on this month? I'll give you guys a quick little update. Okay, so again, we have this full moon coming up, a good time to release things from the home, the family, the childhood, old heart wounds even, you know, like really like look into that heart chakra space, how you want to nurture, be nurtured, all of that. So we have the full moon coming up, and then we have the Uranus going direct. Finally, after months and months and months, I think Uranus has been retrograde since like May or June. Oh, maybe June or July. It's definitely been retrograde for 5 or 6 months though. A long time. Okay. And we're back. Okay, so we start the new year out with Uranus going direct. We also have Mercury sextile Neptune. So there is an opportunity on January 1st to begin conversations around your dreams. Like like the biggest desires that you have right now for yourself, for your life, for the world, for humanity, for animals, for the environment. Big picture, things that could seem at times to be more of like an illusion or a fantasy, right? Like really like dreaming big here. An opportunity with this sextile to Mercury on January 1st to really communicate. It's going to take a little bit of work, but communicating what your dreams are can really pay off. Okay, and we have a few echoes of that throughout the month. So echo to that coming up on January 11th, where we have a cool 3-way happening between Mercury, Jupiter, and Chiron. And so Mercury is the communication planet. It's Hermes in mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. One of them's Hermes, one of them is Mercury. So Mercury is the communication planet. And then we have Jupiter, which is the expansion, the giver of gifts, the benefactor, the dream big god, Jupiter, giver of gifts, very mighty, lived on the top of Mount Olympus, so I think Jupiter is also Zeus. But Jupiter, big. Think of the planet also literally is huge. So we have Jupiter, the gift giver and the expander, with the communicator, so expansion again on communication. And this time, right on the January 1st, we have communication about our dreams and our big fantasy pictures, ideal life, whatever. On the 11th, we have this communication again that's expanded, but with Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And Chiron, wherever Chiron lands in your chart, it shows you where you've experienced pain and wounding, and where you also can dive a little bit more deeply into to actually become a healer of that and to help heal others in that area. It's pretty cool. So on January 11th, we have a conjunction between, I'm not going to go into too much detail about all of this right now because I am offering courses coming up, and so there will be opportunities for you all to enroll with me where I go into the details about these things. So we have Mercury conjunct Jupiter at 9 a.m. We also have Mercury sextile Chiron at 9 a.m., which means we also have Jupiter sextile Chiron at 9 a.m. So at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the United States, we have these planets working in angles with each other where they are very harmonious, and some of them might take a little bit of effort as well. But the fact that the communication about how you want to expand, how you want to create more health for yourself or more health for others, positive affirmations around your health, especially around the 11th, can be very, very beneficial. And then we have another echo of that energy 2 weeks later on January 25th, where we have the sun in sextile with Chiron, the wounded healer. And so there will be more of an opportunity with the sun to actually like see where your healing is needed, or to see your healing actually like illuminated. There's an opportunity 2 weeks after this. The 11th is right before the new moon. So it's a fabulous time to plant seeds around health and healing, honestly, because of just the combo. I don't even know what signs they're in. I'm not going into that much detail yet. In later videos we will. But just these planets and the way that they're interacting with one another, it's a great day to focus on how healthy you are, how healthy you want to feel, how healthy you do feel, your gratitude for the health that you have, the health for others. How can you help other people heal if you can, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? If you can pray for others or meditate for others, if you can just have a phone call or like send a text of like love to a friend. The 11th is a fabulous day to focus on the expansion of communication around health and healing. And then 2 weeks later, right, a few days before the full moon that will happen at the end of January, we have again, it'll take a little bit of work, but if you can really pay attention, you'll see these healing effects coming to fruition, coming to light. So those are some really beautiful days. And then we also have some challenging days. So I have January 8th. There are a few squares and sextiles to some planets that can be a little bit more like impulsive, triggering. So to just be a little bit more gentle on the 8th. It could be a little bit of a triggering day. The 12th as well, there are a lot of squares happening. So really focus on the 11th on like that positivity, and try to just like bring in that positivity again, because there will be a little bit of triggers maybe on the 12th. There are just a lot of squares happening between planets, and it's a bit of a conflicting energy. Again though, if you want to learn more, you can check out my free class that I'm going to be dropping on the 11th, sooner if I can. And then that leads into my very first courses that I'm offering on astrology. And those courses begin February 2nd. So if you want to learn more of this detail and how to read charts for yourself and for others, birth charts, horoscopes, synastry charts, comparison charts between people, those are my skill sets with astrology. And I'm really, really stoked to be teaching. So some challenging days because of the squares, the 8th, the 12th, the 26th, and the 17th. So just take that with a grain of salt. I mean, again, I don't know what signs these are in. I'm not going into that detail quite yet. And we're not looking at your charts individually here. So if you want a chart reading, I can definitely help you and look into your chart and see what's going on. Definitely see about the horoscope and what's happening. This is all horoscope that I'm writing out. This is what is currently happening in the sky in January, and it will affect all of us, but in different ways because of our own personal natal chart, which is that a snapshot of the sky, or like a blueprint, if you will, of the moment that you were born, in the location that you were born, and where things were in the sky from that location at that time. So that's what I'm going to be teaching in these courses, and yeah, this is basically everything that we're talking about in this video. So I hope that's not too rambly. One more group of days that I want to talk about. There's on the 14th of January, it's a fantastic day for transformation and personal up-leveling for like everybody. The 19th, kind of the same deal again, an echoing to the first two, and the 11th and the 25th. On the 19th, there's a really great opportunity to move into this kind of like future-oriented way of, thinking about yourself, about your life path, about the direction that you're going in. Maybe literally making steps, communicating around your life path, and an awareness and an illumination, a light going on, if you will, around how advanced it actually can be. Take that how you will. And then again on the 23rd and the 28th. 23rd, we have again a really great day to actually ground those dreams. Like literally bring them into a beautiful, stable, or like there has to be organization and the details. Like you have to like work out your plan logically, and also work towards seeing the beauty of it unfolding. But it's a powerful day to bring in that really solid, stable dream like into reality and see it. Excuse me. Ooh, wow, moving some energy. And then the 28th, where we have a full moon, we also have another really big beauty transformational day, value and aesthetics, transforming love life, transforming maybe a rebirth in love life, rebirth in abundance of resources, beauty, ideas, creativity, motivation, inspiration. Yeah, and seeing abundance. There's you're woof on the 28th, this full moon in Leo. Releasing what isn't serving us so that we can step into this rebirth of this more expansive, beautiful, loving, giving. I mean, it's powerful. It's powerful energy, but it's very expansive and beautiful. Wow. So take all of that however you will I do hope that that helped. I'm really excited to read a little bit more for you guys. So just kind of a wrap up for the full moon tomorrow night. Depending on where it is in your chart, that will give you a lot more detail to know specifics around what you can do to let go and release. But for everyone, again, it's going to be all of the themes of Cancer, which is mother energy, nurturing energy, house, home, hearth, family, roots, where you've come from, lineage and ancestry. And it's a water element, so it's a very intuitive one. So let your intuition blossom in this experience. If you aren't exactly sure in which ways you want to release, follow your intuition because it might be guiding you already. And then here are some really easy ways that you can do a burn ceremony on your own. You can literally, so no matter what, you're going to take a piece of paper and write out what it is that you're releasing. This is for a full moon. And what you're wanting to let go of, and saying thank you for it being released, and that whatever lessons you may have not learned through that experience to come to you in a more gentle and loving way, and that all of the lessons that you have learned through this experience you keep, right? So you can really ritualize it. You can make it into like a really fun, fancy thing, or you can just write out some things that you want to like let go of and burn them. And as long as your intention is there, like if you're doing this, it's going to work some magic. So write out what you're letting go of. And then a typical burn ceremony would be that you would literally burn the piece of paper. So you could do that in a fireplace, in a fire pit outside. Those would be the safest ways to do it. But since this is in Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign, you can also write out what you're releasing and put it in a jar of water, and then let it sit out overnight in the full moon. And when the morning comes, pour out the water, and the paper will pretty much have disintegrated, but you can just throw it away, or you can let it dry out and then just throw it into the trash or throw it into the fireplace. If you're using paper that is biodegradable, and paper is made from trees, is paper biodegradable? Depending, you can also bury it in the earth. Just feel out if that feels right to you or not. But that's another way that you can do a release ceremony. So water, sometimes if I'm by a river or a creek or the ocean, I'll write out my things that I'm releasing and then drop them with a stone or a crystal into the ocean, like in a little cloth bag. Or, but again, you know, sometimes that just sounds like you're littering. So follow your intuition. You could also program what you're letting go of into a crystal or a stone and drop that into a river and have a release ceremony happen that way, or into the ocean or a body of water. So you don't always have to write it out, but there is something extra special when you hand write out the words of what it is that you're letting go of. But hey, if you don't have paper around, do what you can. Just the intention, taking a few minutes to focus in on what would be good to release, and then giving thanks for letting it go. And so be it, and so it is. That works too. So if you guys would like your own personal reading, I would love to do that. I'm still offering my holiday sale. It's ridiculous. It's a good offer. 1 hour for $60. and I either will pre-record it and post it up on this channel and send you the private link so that only you have access to it and forever, or we will do a one-on-one Zoom. Alright guys, I hope that helps, and I look forward to reading for you, and I'm really excited to be offering some courses coming up, so I hope that you are interested in at least checking out the free course. I mean, sign up. And hopefully you like it and decide to learn more about astrology from my perspective, which honestly, I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I am 100% self-taught, and I am self-taught through books and life experience and reading for people for the past decade. So, you know, you're not going to necessarily get a certification or anything, but you will have the skill sets to begin to read for yourself and give yourself readings and more understanding of maybe why certain times when certain things are happening you feel it a little bit more or not, and also so that you can have fun reading for your friends and family too, and for strangers if you want and you feel comfortable. I think it's a really big gift to be able to look in this very personal, reflection of the soul, and to be able to see gifts and strengths and beauty and direction. It's really uplifting for everybody. It's such a gift. So thank you for letting me share this with you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.